Seneca, waiting agony. We've all been there. Trapped in that unique dimension of torment we might call waiting hell. It's the doctor's office where every tick of the clock echoes like a hammer blow against your sanity. It's the agonizing silence after a job interview, where every refresh of your email inbox feels like a desperate prayer. It's the buffering wheel on a video, a tiny spinning circle holding your entire universe hostage. This isn't just boredom. It's a profound, gnawing agony. A state where your mind, stripped of its agency, turns on itself. You are no longer in control of your time, and that loss of sovereignty feels like a small death. Anxiety begins to coil in your stomach. Impatience sharpens into a jagged frustration. And your imagination, a tool meant for creation, becomes a factory for worst-case scenarios. The future you desire and the present you're stuck in are separated by a chasm of time you cannot bridge. And you are left dangling, suspended in a void of pure, powerless anticipation. This is the modern human condition, amplified by a world that promises instant gratification but so often delivers agonizing delay. But what if I told you that this suffering is a choice? What if there was an ancient, battle-tested technology designed specifically to navigate these voids? A tool forged not in silicon, but in the crucible of Roman political intrigue, exile, and the ever-present threat of a tyrant's whim. The philosopher Seneca, a man who waited for years in exile and ultimately waited for the order of his own death, developed a revolutionary concept for this exact problem. He didn't just preach patience. That's a passive, fragile virtue. Instead, he engineered an active, robust mental defense system. We're calling it the mental airlock. Imagine a submarine or a spacecraft. To move between two different environments, say the crushing pressure of the deep sea and the breathable air inside the sub, you need an intermediary chamber, an airlock. You enter, seal the door behind you, equalize the pressure, and only then do you open the door to the new environment. The airlock protects the delicate internal system from the hostile external world. Seneca's technique applies this exact principle to your mind. The external world is the uncontrollable timeline, the agonizing weight, the uncertainty. Your internal world is your tranquility, your reason, your peace, what the Stoics called your inner citadel. When you are forced to wait, the immense pressure of the external situation, the anxiety, the desperate hope, the frustration, threatens to breach your inner citadel and flood it with chaos. The mental airlock is the psychological chamber you deliberately create between the two. It's a conscious act of mental detachment. You seal the inner door to your peace of mind. Then you allow the reality of the situation, the weight, to enter the airlock. You observe it, you acknowledge it, you feel the pressure of impatience rising, you notice the tendrils of anxiety. But here is the crucial step. You do not open the inner door. You do not let those feelings flood your core being. They are contained within the airlock, a space for observation, not for infection. This is not about suppression. You're not pretending the frustration doesn't exist. That's like trying to deny the existence of water pressure outside a submarine. It's foolish and dangerous. Instead, you are acknowledging the pressure while trusting the integrity of your vessel. The core Stoic principle at play here is the famous dichotomy of control. What is within your control and what is not? The time the doctor will see you is not in your control. The hiring manager's decision is not in your control. The speed of your internet connection is not in your control. Fighting these realities is like punching the ocean. You only exhaust and injure yourself. What is in your control? Your response, your focus, the state of your own mind. The mental airlock is the mechanism by which you pivot from the uncontrollable external to the controllable internal. You stop wrestling with the timeline and start managing your reaction to it. You create a psychological space where you can look at your own impatience and say, "Ah, there you are. I see you. But you are a visitor in this chamber. You are not me. You will not command my inner sanctum." This transforms the entire experience. Waiting is no longer a passive state of suffering, but an active period of mental practice. It becomes a gymnasium for the soul, a chance to strengthen your resilience, to practice mindfulness, and to assert sovereignty over the one thing you will ever truly own, your own mind. This isn't just about enduring the wait, it's about conquering it from the inside out. Deconstructing the airlock, the mechanics of inner peace. So, what does it actually mean to build and operate this mental airlock? It sounds profound, almost mystical, but like any piece of brilliant engineering, it's built from a few simple, powerful components. Let's deconstruct the airlock and look at the psychological machinery that makes it work. There are three core mechanisms you must engage. First, radical acceptance of the present. Second, the cultivation of the observer self. And third, the active deployment of the dichotomy of control. Mastering these three turns a vague philosophical idea into a practical, everyday tool. Let's start with the first mechanism, radical acceptance of the present. This is the act of sealing the outer door of the airlock. When you're stuck in traffic, the non-stoic mind is in a state of constant, furious rejection. This shouldn't be happening. I'm going to be late. This is a disaster. Every one of these thoughts is a futile attempt to deny reality. It's mental friction, burning up your energy and generating toxic emotional exhaust. Radical acceptance is the opposite. It's a calm, clear-eyed acknowledgement of the facts, stripped of emotional judgment. You look at the sea of red taillights and you say, "I am in a traffic jam. My estimated arrival time is now X. This is the current reality." That's it. You're not saying you like it. You're not saying it's good. You are simply ceasing the pointless war with what? By doing this, you stop feeding the fire of frustration. You have accepted the external conditions into the airlock chamber. The pressure is now contained. You've stopped it from running rampant through your entire system. It's the difference between flailing in quicksand and lying flat to distribute your weight. One accelerates your doom. The other is the first step toward control. Now for the second and perhaps most crucial mechanism, cultivating the observer self. Once the reality of the weight is inside the airlock, your emotions will start to bubble up. Impatience, anxiety, boredom. This is where most people fail. They identify with these emotions. They don't just impatient, they an impatient person. The observer self is the part of your consciousness that can step back and watch these feelings arise without being swept away by them. It's your inner scientist taking notes on the weather patterns of your mind. You notice the physical sensation of anxiety, the tightness in your chest, the shallow breathing. You notice the mental chatter of impatience. Come on, hurry up. But you observe it from a distance with a sense of neutral curiosity. You might even label it, "Ah, that is the feeling of anxiety. Interesting." Or, "There is the thought pattern of frustration." This creates a critical gap between stimulus and response. The emotion is no longer an irresistible command. It's just data. It's a cloud passing through the sky of your awareness. It is not the sky itself. This is the essence of keeping that inner door of the airlock sealed. The emotions are in the chamber. You can see them through the viewport, but they have not breached your inner citadel of calm. Finally, we have the third mechanism, the active deployment of the dichotomy of control. With the outer reality accepted and your inner emotions being observed, you are now in a position of power. You can consciously choose where to direct your focus. This isn't a passive wait, it's an active choice. You ask yourself the most powerful question in the Stoic toolkit. What in this situation is actually up to me? The traffic isn't, the doctor's schedule isn't, the hiring manager's decision isn't. So, what is? Your breathing, the posture you hold, the music you choose to listen to, the thoughts you choose to cultivate, the opportunity to practice this very technique. You can use the time to plan your day, to listen to a podcast, to simply practice mindful breathing, or to reflect on a philosophical concept. You are redirecting your precious mental energy away from the black hole of the uncontrollable and investing it in the fertile ground of the controllable. This is how you transform the waiting period from an agonizing void into a productive opportunity. It becomes found time, not lost time. By engaging these three mechanisms, acceptance, observation, and redirection, you are not just operating the mental airlock, you are the airlock. You become a living, breathing buffer between the chaos of the world and the tranquility of a well-ordered mind. Block 3. The airlock in action. Stoic strategies for modern hell is one thing, but the true test of any philosophy is its utility in the trenches of daily life. The mental airlock isn't an abstract concept for quiet contemplation. It's a rugged, all-terrain vehicle for your mind designed to navigate the specific, frustrating landscapes of modern waiting. Let's move from the what and the how to the where and when. We'll walk through 3 common scenarios of waiting hell and apply the airlock technique step by step, transforming you from a passive victim into a stoic practitioner. Scenario 1. The digital void. You've sent a critically important email or text message. Perhaps it's a business proposal, a message to a new romantic interest, or a difficult conversation with a family member. Now you wait. The 3 little dots are typing. Then they disappear. Your phone becomes a torture device. Every minute without a reply stretches into an eternity. Your mind starts racing. Did I say the wrong thing? Are they ignoring me? What if they're angry? This is a perfect storm for anxiety. Here's how you engage the airlock. Step 1. Radical acceptance. Say it out loud. I have sent the message. The ball is no longer in my court. I have zero control over when or even if they will reply. You are not judging them or yourself. You are stating a simple and arguable fact. The outer door of the airlock closes. Step 2. Cultivate the observer self. As the anxiety starts to churn, observe it. Notice the physical compulsion to check your phone every 15 seconds. Notice the stories your mind is inventing. Label them. That is the fear of rejection. That is the narrative of a negative outcome. Watch these thoughts like a movie you've seen before. You know the plot, you know the characters. You don't have to get lost in it. The inner door remains sealed. Step 3. Active deployment. The urge is to keep focusing on the phone. Instead, actively redirect. What you control? The next 10 minutes of your life. Put the phone in another room. Set a timer for 1 hour and dedicate that hour to a single focused task. Read a chapter of a book. Do a 10-minute workout. Clean your desk. You are seizing control of the present moment, refusing to let it be held hostage by an uncertain digital future. Scenario 2. The professional limbo. You're waiting for a decision that could change your career. The results of a big exam, a promotion announcement, or the classic, the outcome of a job interview. Your future self is waiting on the other side of this decision, and you're stuck. It feels impossible to focus on your current work when your entire future feels like it's in flux. Let's build the airlock. Step 1. Radical acceptance. The interview is done. The exam is submitted. The decision is now in the hands of others operating on a timeline I cannot see or influence. Acknowledge that your performance, the part you controlled, is in the past. Fighting this reality is pointless. Step 2. Cultivate the observer self. Notice how your mind constantly drifts to 2 fantasies, the glorious success and the devastating failure. Observe this mental oscillation. See it for what it is, a defense mechanism against uncertainty. Your mind is trying to solve a problem that has no solution yet. Don't get caught in either fantasy. Just observe the mind's frantic attempts. There's the daydream of success. There's the nightmare of failure. Keep them both contained in the airlock. Step 3. Active deployment. Your urge is to keep focusing on the phone. Instead, actively redirect. What you control? The next 10 minutes of your life. Put the phone in another room. Set a timer for 1 hour and dedicate that hour to a single focused task. Read a chapter of a book. Do a 10-minute workout. Clean your desk. You are seizing control of the present moment, refusing to let it be held hostage by an uncertain digital future. Scenario 2. The physical trap. You are physically stuck. The mother of all waiting hells, a massive traffic jam, a delayed flight, a long queue at the DMV. Here, the physical environment screams powerlessness. Step 1. Radical acceptance. Look around. I am in a car that is not moving. I will be late. Honking the horn or getting angry will not change the physics of this situation. Accept the physical reality completely. Step 2. Cultivate the observer self. Feel the irritation rising, the cortisol dump, the desire to blame someone. Observe this primal reptilian brain response. Watch the anger as if it were a caged animal. The frustration is here. It wants to roar. You don't have to let it out of the cage. It's just a feeling, a chemical reaction. It will pass if you don't feed it. Step 3. Active deployment. You can't control the movement of your car, but you control everything inside it. This is your domain. This unexpected pause is a gift of time, if you choose to see it that way. What have you been meaning to do? Listen to that audiobook. Call your mother. Practice a language app. Or simply do nothing. You can practice the art of just being. Turn your car from a prison cell into a monastery. Control your breathing. Focus on the sensation of the seat beneath you. You can find peace and productivity anywhere once you realize the location of your freedom isn't outside you, but within you. Block 4. Beyond waiting. Mastering the Stoic mindset. By now, you've seen how the mental airlock can revolutionize the agonizing experience of waiting. It's a powerful tool for managing impatience, anxiety, and frustration in specific, high-stress situations. But the true genius of this Stoic technology is that its application doesn't stop when the traffic starts moving or the email finally arrives. Practicing the mental airlock in these small moments of delay is actually training for a much larger game. It's a foundational exercise for mastering the entire Stoic art of living. This isn't just about conquering the wait. It's about fundamentally restructuring your relationship with time, desire, and fate itself. Every time you successfully deploy the airlock, you are strengthening a mental muscle that will serve you in every single area of your life where what you want and what you have are not aligned, which, if we're being honest, is almost all of life. Think about it. The core components of the airlock, radical acceptance, the observer self, and the dichotomy of control are the 3 pillars of Stoic resilience. Waiting for a flight is a low-stakes training ground for waiting for medical test results. Dealing with a slow Wi-Fi connection is practice for dealing with a slow economic recovery. Handling a delayed package is a drill for handling a delayed career path. Life is, in its essence, a series of waits. We wait for the weekend. We wait to graduate. We wait to fall in love. We wait for our kids to grow up. We wait for retirement. If we allow our happiness to be perpetually suspended in the future, contingent on the arrival of the next thing, we will live our entire lives in a state of agitated limbo. We exist in a permanent waiting hell of our own making. The mental airlock is the key to breaking this cycle. It teaches you to locate your peace and purpose not in the destination, but in the journey, even when the journey is standing still. Furthermore, this practice connects deeply with two other advanced Stoic concepts. The first is the premeditation of evils. When you find yourself in a wait, you can use the airlock not just to find peace, but to actively build robustness. You can ask yourself, what if this wait were twice as long? What if the outcome is not what I desire? By calmly contemplating worse scenarios from within your protected inner citadel, you rob them of their power to shock and dismay you. You expand the operational capacity of your airlock, preparing it for even greater pressures. You become anti-fragile, not just resisting shocks, but actually getting stronger from them. The 5-minute delay you handle with grace today prepares you for the 5-hour delay you might face tomorrow. The second and most profound connection is to amor fati, the love of one's fate. This is the ultimate evolution of radical acceptance. It's one thing to accept the traffic jam. It's another thing entirely to aksafi it, to see it not as an obstacle to your life, but as a necessary and perfect part of your life in that moment. Why? Because it is the moment that is offering you the chance to practice your philosophy. It is the perfect tailor-made challenge to forge your character. Without the wait, there is no opportunity to build the mental airlock. Without the frustration, there is no chance to cultivate the observer self. The obstacle is not in the way, the obstacle the way. The waiting hell becomes your training ground, your sacred space. You begin to welcome these moments, not because you enjoy the inconvenience, but because you value the person you become by navigating them with virtue and tranquility. So the next time you feel that familiar agony of waiting begin to rise, see it for what it is, a call to practice, an invitation to step into your mental airlock. Close the outer door with acceptance. Observe the rising emotions with the calm curiosity of your inner scientist, and redirect your focus to what you can control. You are not just killing time, you are transforming it. You are taking the empty, agonizing voids of life and filling them with purpose, with practice, and with peace. This is the secret Seneca knew. Freedom is not found in the world finally bending to your timeline. It is found when you realize your inner peace was never dependent on that timeline in the first place.